Meeting to order, the Village of Villa Park Board of Trustees Committee, the whole meeting, December 11th, 2023. Clerk Konecki, please call the roll.
Trustee Alfano?
Here.
Trustee Cordova?
Here.
Trustee Corkery? Trustee Kozar?
Here.
Trustee Kumar?
Here.
Trustee Patrick?
Here.
President Kazone?
Here. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, tonight's discussion is on our several commissions that we have. Staff is seeking direction from the board on how to proceed with communicating and effectuating any recommended changes in the direction and support given to the various commissions. Staff may wish to seek further input from the commissions on how they would like to update or further define their mission or direction. Start with Manager Harline. Do you have anything you'd like to say here?
A memo was sent out for the meeting in November, and among I had some discussions with trustees before the meetings, and there were several proposed actions that could be done to assist with making the commissions more effective. Among those, those are included in the packet: increased advertising, solicitations of applications to fill up open positions, annual reception to thank commissioners, which is budgeted in 23 but didn't happen, but we are working to do that in 24. Public campaign to educate citizens on the missions of commissions, review and define the purpose of each commission further, and develop a general handbook or guide for commissioners and their responsibilities. Staff would, there's some of this is would have a mild to larger burden on staff to get it done, but all of these are within our capability. Right now, I also sent out a summary chart of the current advisory boards and commissions and the number of vacancies. We have an application to reduce the number of vacancies on the Traffic and Safety Commission to 1, but there are a number of open positions on some of our commissions as it stands. So we had some discussion about this last month, and that's really all that I was going to lead with tonight.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll start with the board. Does anyone like to bring up any of their thoughts and concerns about commissions? Trustee Kumar.
Communication has to be clear between the board, the commissions, and the staff, and I think that was where any of the breakdown was happening between all three of us, including our trouble filling positions. It is a voluntary position, and I'm very glad to see that many of the things that have been suggested are feasible and will happen in the next year. One thing I would like to say is that the liaisons for the commission who are from the staff, it would be nice if they quickly got on the website and were posted, as that is very important for the public, because sometimes they may want to reach out instead of to a commissioner, even to the liaison on staff. So that would be helpful. That's what I would suggest. Any other things? I think these are really good ideas. I'm glad we're floating them at this point, and I look forward to our commissions being full, flourished, and happy.
Well, most of these are ideas I got from you or Kevin or Trustee Alfano. So.
Okay, it works. Well, that's why they're so good.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Alfano.
I was not able to attend the last committee of the whole meeting, but I did have some questions about which commissions do have junior commissioners. Is it just the Fund Commission that has junior commissioners? And I was wondering if we could visit some possible additions of junior commissioners on some appropriate, or we can identify some appropriate commissions where that would be useful and helpful. I was thinking the Video Production Commission, where I think they can be highly utilized with their ability to be able to keep up with that kind of technology. Maybe the Historical Preservation Commission, the Environmental Concerns Commission, and that bike pedestrian transit, since I believe they would probably be the ones that are biking and walking more than most adults.
Do we have to, would we have to change the ordinance on each one? We have to change those individually to allow for that? Or can we do like an override that, any of the commissions, probably with the exceptions of, like police pension and some of those, can have junior commissioners?
Yes, because the composition of each commission is established in the code, you would have to pass an ordinance to make that change.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I would like to change the code to include at least one junior commission for every, except maybe fire, because it's kind of a little bit tricky, most of the commissions, right? Because I think having a second generation, it come in to any commission makes them grow up with it, makes them want vested in it, and a lot of people in our town at least move back into our town or stay in our town, so they become vested in the long run. They already have the skills, so they may go ahead and join the commission for the future, and that would be really helpful. And who knows, maybe there are going to be new board members at one point as well. So I would think it's good to reach out, and it gives them something to put on their resume for colleges as well. It is not, it's beneficial on both sides.
Okay, yeah, we'll look into that, about doing that. Trustee Patrick?
Thank you. Last month, one of the things that I talked about regarding our commissions was the accessibility of information to the general public about our commissions. More or less like what our commissions, who our commissions are, what they do, their functionality, what the openings are, and things like that. And I find it kind of hard to find some of that specific information online, and that's kind of the feedback that I'm getting back from the general public too. And one of the ideas that was brought up that might be an easier fix is that now that we're recording a majority of our meetings, or at least audio recording those, specifically with the YouTube videos, maybe there's a way that we could create hyperlinks directly to the minutes of a commission or anything pertaining to those commissions, or even hyperlinks to our code that just generalizes what this commission is and what they do. Nowadays, almost everybody has a smartphone and utilizes YouTube, and that is one of the main sources of how people get information about Villa Park. When you go to our YouTube channel, that also is somewhat harder to navigate. From personal experience, a lot of the screenshots or the thumbnails are all the same, and you really have to dive through the descriptions to try to find which video you're looking for. So I'm just asking that if we could maybe tighten up our YouTube channel a little bit, whether that be with descriptions, dates, different thumbnails, maybe a different thumbnail for each commission, or something along those lines, so that way people get more familiar with where to find specific videos, what they're looking for, and then also those hyperlinks within the comments section of the YouTube video they can easily click on that would take them to anything related to the commission, whether that be news, whether it be social media posts, whether it be, like I said, the code or minutes along those lines. I think that also goes a long way with helping be more transparent in this process. It's not that we're trying to hide anything, it's just that we're making this information a little bit more accessible to our general public. And by doing so, I think that might also engage different elements of our community that might want to take a bigger role in our local government and be a stakeholder, have some agency in what we do here in the village. And I believe that that's just a small start with something that we could do.
Anyone else here? Trustee Kozar.
Are the openings on the website, like the vacancies?
They're not. They're not.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
And that should be kind of somewhat prominent when people are looking at commissions, or the application is online, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So have it right there with a link of some sort, just so somebody can get on there quickly and see what might be available to them. I like the idea of some sort of manual. I think manual is too big of a concept. I mean, just a page or two of what's expected of you as a commissioner, as well as some sort of policy on what is expected of the board liaison and the staff liaison. It's very ad hoc right now that everybody's got their own unwritten rule that they follow. So I'd like to firm that up in some sort of policy. And it also lays some expectation so that there are no surprises and there's no training after the fact. Another thing I'd like to see is any applications that come in, I think they should be shared amongst the board. So they're, since it's something that you can FOIA anyway, anybody from the public to see who's applying for what, I think just out of course, any applications that come in should just be forwarded to the board itself.
Okay.
Yeah. We've been doing that, just not, it needs to be a little bit quicker. Applications,
Say that again?
we've been forwarding the applications to the board for a bit, but
Okay. Which is great. I mean, and can I assume that all applications are forwarded, even if people are considered?
I don't think there's anyone that we've not put on a board that has applied recently.
Okay.
It used to be that board members would recruit people, and this would be a way to get people that you knew were interested on. The village staff can contribute to that, but a lot of members who have been on boards and commissions historically have been, people who trustees knew, or somebody from the commission knew somebody who could replace a vacancy. But we can recruit, but I think you guys are probably one of our best recruiters out there as well. So don't sell yourself short.
Trustee Kumar.
I agree. A lot of the way you get volunteers is through recruitment from people you know, so on and so forth. And that is a very effective strategy, probably the best strategy you have for recruitment. However, that doesn't mean that we should leave out people who may be new in town. This might be their first hurrah from getting recruited. So I think a little bit of marketing is definitely warranted. Who knows what skills people have that they want to bring to the table as they enter the new town they're in. So, we have so many open vacancies, it'd be great to have a new set of people, filling those. A lot of times we don't get quorum in some of our commissions, which I would love to see always happen. And you don't know who will come and what their ideas will sprout. So I think maybe when we get to that software button in our system, so that when that comes up, you get, do you want to be on a commission? Do you want to do something for the Village of Villa Park? Come up as well, because along with negative complaints, we want positive reach out. So I would, maybe there's a way to do it. It may be more complicated than at present, but it's something to look into, certainly.
Okay. Trustee Patrick?
Thank you. Touching base a little bit on what Trustee Kozar was talking about regarding the applications, I agree that I also would like to continue to see then the applications, whether or not they were appointed to the position or not, come our way, just so that we have that. But I think the important element that we have to take note of here is the process and the communication involved with this process. The whole point, at least for me, bringing up commissions is giving our residents, our commissioners, agency as a stakeholder in the process of what we do in Villa Park. And when somebody applies to be on a commission, the document has list your 3 favorite commissions that you would like to be appointed to. Now, I just want to note that I think is really important that when we do receive these applications, regardless of the outcome, that the village maintains communication with the people that are applying, whether that just be sorry, everything's filled, are you interested in X, Y, and Z, or something along those lines, because I think it would be better for us in the long run to keep these individuals engaged and trying to find a way to keep them involved, rather than just say, hey, sorry, that's it, there's no openings. So that's all I ask for, too.
Yeah, and that's done, because the applications come to me, and there've been, I'd say, probably 2 over the last year where they wanted it on a commission that was already filled. And I did contact them and said, we've got these openings, and they were not interested. One in particular was planning and zoning, and then when an opening came up, I called him, and he was like, no, my things have changed, my work's changed, but he appreciated the callback. So yeah, that is pretty much done. Anytime an application is sent in, for a position that's filled.
Okay, and I can't speak to recent examples, but I know in the past that there have been some people that have submitted applications and have kind of, I'll say, been on a waiting list for quite a long time without any communication.
Yeah.
So again, like to my point, I think just keeping them involved, keeping that communication open, whether or not a position is available, will benefit us in the long run.
Yep, definitely. Okay. Trustee Kumar.
I'm gonna circle back to Kevin's idea, Trustee Patrick's idea, a while back with the thumbnail, because it has come to my idea that if we just superimpose a date on our Villa Park thumbnail with the picture and the date, it will really help just click on that to get which day and time, even with, this is what we were discussing, and with the link underneath. I think it won't be super hard to do, and it'll just make it kind of clearer which video we're watching for which day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Trustee Alfano.
And adding to that, I think that it's a good idea to have that central hub where we do have hyperlinks into like a deep dive for those commissions. If somebody is looking at or listening to the recordings of the commission meetings, then they are already interested in that particular subject or what's going on in Villa Park in that area. So they're gonna already look to it. The marketing's already there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? Okay, seeing no comments, do we have anyone in the audience who would like to speak on commissions? Yeah, come up and just give your name.
Sign in.
I'm Mary Brunner from the Fund Commission, and I just wanted to say that I don't know if you could break down the applications to the commissions, but in our instance, if there's no openings in the commission, we certainly have room for volunteers, for people that can help us do stuff. And then maybe they could see that as their way into the list when there is an opening to get there. That would be nice to somehow add that someplace, that we need volunteers also. I think that's it.
Okay, thanks, Mary. Anyone else?
Hi, Joseph Tommaso. Everything you guys talked about, I think, is pretty much on point. Pretty much on point, but the one thing that I think hasn't been talked about is actually the substance of what the commissions are doing, when they're doing it. And I think a lot of that is because they don't often, many of the commissions don't often get assignments. Now, with public or planning and zoning, for example, there's a process. At a certain point, you apply for this, it goes to the commission, they're told what to look at, what not to look at, so on and so forth. Then it comes to you guys. The other commissions, most of the other commissions don't really seem to have that. So if you're talking Parks and Rec, for example, there isn't really a process where it goes to them, what goes to them and when it goes and what's expected of them. So I see a lot of the various commissions where a staff member will get up and talk about the underpass or the rec center or whatever the issue is. But there isn't a lot of engagement. There isn't a lot of ideas that are coming forth. It's more a matter of, well, we're letting you know what we're doing. Why have a commission just to let them know what's going on? They should be a part of the process. And that starts, I think, mostly with staff. They know what projects are coming along down the pike, and they should be able to bring these things to commissions and say, we're thinking about putting in an ice rink. What do you guys think? How can we make it better? What ideas do you have? And there should be a dialogue back and forth. And if that isn't there, then the board should be looking at asking the question, has this gone to such and such a commission, and what were their thoughts? No, it hasn't gone. Shouldn't it maybe go there before it comes here, and see how many more ideas we can come up with on a commission level? Because staff is, they're people just like everybody else. They have certain ideas, and they may not be thinking of a variety of things. So as an example, I know there's been some discussion about the underpass. Has that gone to the Economic Development Commission to see what impact it might have in regards to the development of that area, the economic development of that area, and whether or not it's going to be helpful or hurtful in that example? I don't think it has. So sometimes it's a matter of just stepping out a little bit and remembering that those commissions are there and actively including them in the conversations.
Okay,
Simple.
good idea. All right, thanks. Okay, anyone else? Trustee Kumar.
To piggyback off of what we heard, because this is an overall discussion, I think it is not a bad idea to send a note to all the commissions to look into how they feel they could be empowered to do better things for Villa Park, and see what they come back with, what they want to, weigh in on, what is important to weigh in on for them, and then we can put that list together of empowering, because in the end, all that information is just going to be helpful for us as a board to make much better decisions, much more holistic and correct decisions as a group.
Okay, good. Just Cordova.
So I've been on the Parks and Rec Commission for 8 years before I was on the board here. We had community input meetings, we've had agendas, we've had the types of slides we want, the types of accessories that go with the thing, with the parks, which kind of parks we want to put in. Are the ADA accessible? What about the benches? What about the mulch? What about the rocks? The size of the walking paths, all those things. I go on and on. Those are things that we talk about. So Greg will come to the commission and say, hey, we have a question, we have a problem, or we have, an ask. They'll get everyone's input, and then we'll go back, and we felt to empower our commissions. I think the North Star here, at least for me, is the Parks and Rec Commission. We have a huge building going in. Why? We have a big park going in. Why? Because we asked the community, we got community feedback. We made a long-term plan. So those are those things. So when, the example was Parks and Rec, not being empowered or not having an agenda or something like that. I mean, you were at the meeting last week or last month, so that's interesting that you had that take today.
Well, there's been occasions that I've seen where it was just a presentation, everybody just.
Yeah, that happens too. Yeah, that
Right,
happens.
so I'm speaking, they weren't asked questions.
Can't talk
Yeah,
from there.
You know, so
Yep.
that was a lot of what I was referring to is that they haven't been asked questions oftentimes, not always, there's always that occasion where it happens, certainly, but there's plenty of occasions where I think things could go to a commission and they be asked to dig into it, and they're just not. And it's not a lack of anything on anyone's part, just not thinking of it or not communicating well as to what is needed and what is ideal. And then you end up with, yes, we've had commission, public input meetings and things like that, and that's fantastic. Should be more of them. Maybe we'd have less people complaining that, the village never does anything, and that's obviously not true. But I'm talking about the system as a whole, not just one or the other. I'm picking things out of my mind that I'm familiar with, but there's plenty of things that happen, and the commissions just don't seem to be engaged as much as they could be or should be. So that was the point I was making.
Okay, thanks. Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay, well, thank you, everybody, for your comments. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see what we can push forward and get our commissions going again, or keep them going and empower them a little bit more. Okay, with that, we have a motion to adjourn. Trustee Kumar, we have a second. Trustee Alfano, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we will close and we'll start our regular meeting at 7 o'clock. Thank you.